Okay, this is the second video, and we are up to question 9. Okay, these were done again. Question 9, I think I've seen 3s all down the board, apart from a couple of you that got 2. I think you just forgot your rules for a second. When you're multiplying indices together, you actually add them, so you get m to the 8. Down here, if you're dividing them, you would get m to the 6. Because you're taking them away, and when they're in brackets you have to multiply them, so that would be m to the 6 as well. I think here I got an answer of m to the 4 just because you divided 8 by 2. Not right, you subtract the indices there. Okay, question 10. Oh, this one was done beautifully as well. This is a 4-mark question because you had 2 for each one. I think only a few of you got this wrong. Not very many of you. I think I'm seeing mostly 4s everywhere, if not just a couple of 3s because you got one term wrong. So let's do the first one first. So again, I like to put my lines in like that, just so I'm reminded that I need to multiply 4 things together. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. 3x times by 9 is 27x. Minus 8 times 2x is minus 16x. And then minus 8 times 9 is minus 72. Sorting that all out, you get 6x squared plus 11x minus 72. And that was for the first 2 marks. Okay, for the next one, thank goodness all of you knew that that meant this. Okay, so again, you can draw your lines in. To remind you need to multiply 4 things together. So 3x times 3x is 9x squared. Then you've got minus 3x times, sorry, not minus 3x. 3x times by minus 6 is minus 18x. Then you've got another minus 18x. And then minus 6 times minus 6 is plus 36. So at the end, simplifying that all together, 9x squared minus 36 plus 36. And I think, I can't remember what it was, but I think this was the term, oh, I forgot my x. That was the term that kind of confused people a little bit. Okay, so minus 36x plus 36 at the end there. So that was 4 marks for that one. Question 11, explain why these 2 simultaneous equations have no solution. All I needed, it was 1 mark, all I needed was that you needed to say gradients are equal. So lines are parallel. And that would have been perfect, so they never meet. That would have been fine. I needed something about the gradients and I needed something about them being parallel. Some of you tried to start solving them. This was a 1 mark question. And this is very similar to one of the ones in your revision. So, you know, think about that. I went through that a lot. I think I hammered that home a lot. Next one, question 12. Mixed, this one. Although there is a lot to go wrong with this one, so I kind of understand that. If you're not extremely careful, a lot can go wrong. Now, so let's start by doing your factor trees. 210 over here would give me, I'll split it into 3 and 70. 7 and 10, and then 2 and 5. So 210 is 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. Let's do 385 over here. Now, splitting 385, I'd divide it by 5 first, but that's just me. I'd kind of do a bit of long division there. Okay, 5 into 38 is 7 times, remainder 3, 35 is 7, so 77. And I split that into 7 and 11. Okay, so 385 was 5 times 7 times 11. Now, if we go down a little bit, because we only need those bits now, don't we really? If we go down a little bit and I draw some circles that will hopefully overlap. Oh, look at that. Wow. So profesh. Right, so let's have a look. This would be 210 on the left and 385 over here. Let's see if they share anything. I think they share a 5 and a 7. So let's cross them off. We don't need them anymore. 5 and a 7. Now what's left over here is 11, and what's left over here is a 2 and a 3. So remember, the highest common factor is your bit in the middle. So 5 times 7. I think most of you got that, actually. I think it was the other one that wasn't so quite right. So your highest common factor is 5 times 7, which is 35. And then your lowest common multiple is multiplying all those things together. So 2 times 3 times by 5 times by 7 times by 11. And you get 2,310. So 2 marks for this. Excuse me. And then 2 marks for this. Okay. Next one, oh, this was done so well. My word, I don't even know if anyone got this wrong. This was just perfect. This was pretty much perfect the whole way down. Really, really nice stuff. As long as you kind of included everything that I wanted you to in your explanation, you needed to make it. I needed, some numerical evidence and then kind of an explanation. Otherwise, you wouldn't have got the marks for it. So what I would like to have seen was something like this: 12 squared plus 16 squared equals 20 squared. That's your numerical evidence, or something like this. Something like that. And then an explanation. As the triangle follows Pythagoras' theorem, it has to be a right angle triangle, or something along those lines, okay? We needed something like that. I think a few people used Pythagorean triple. Very, very nice language there. Okay, we're now on to question 14, I think. This was done so well as well. Very impressed with this one. I thought this would spook some of you, but no, didn't. You did very well with this. So you say x is equal to 0.167. What this means is x is actually 0.167, over and over and over again. So what I would do is multiply it by 1,000. So I've got 1,000x equals 167.167 with your 2 dots on the top. I would then take away an x, so I would have 999x is equal to 167, because your recurring thing drops off because you've taken away that x. And so all you have to do is just do 167 divided by 999. And if you kind of tried a few things, do they both divide by 3? No. Do they divide by 4? No, because they're both odd, etc., etc. You'll see that they don't divide into each other, and that they just kind of have to stay like that. Okay, and that's it. That's as simple as you're going to get. Okay, number 15 next. Oh, this was one of my favourite questions. I loved this question. And, 5 marks for this one. So very generous, I thought, actually. 5 marks, but a lot involved. A lot of algebraic prowess involved here. So let's go. I was probably going to have to scroll down a lot for this. So 6, I have to find a common denominator, and my common denominator is going to be those two things on the bottom multiplied together. Minus 6 times x minus 2. Over x minus 2, x plus 1. When we sort that all out, we get 6x plus 6 minus 6x plus 12. It's plus because you've got a negative and a negative, so you have to get a plus. Over x minus 2, x plus 1 equals 1. Okay. Once we sort that numerator out, let's do that. 6x minus 6x, well, that cancels out. 6 plus 12 is 18, so you get this. Now I am going to sort out the bottom. doesn't actually matter where you sort out the bottom because you're going to have to multiply it up to the right-hand side. I'll do it now. So x squared minus x minus 2, I think you get, once you've sorted that out, all equal to 1. So like I said, you do have to multiply that denominator by both sides, and so you get 18 equals x squared minus x minus 2. Now, if you subtract 18 from both sides, you get x squared minus x minus 20 equals 0. And then you just have to factorise that quadratic. So look for two numbers that multiply to give minus 20 and add to give minus 1, and you get x minus 5, x plus 4 equals 0. So x is equal to 5 and x is equal to minus 4. I mean, I was so impressed with those of you that got that right, because that's a long-winded thing there. But well done. Really nicely done. Almost there. Question 16. Let me just check how much time I've got. Yeah, I've got enough time still to go through the last two, I think. So rationalise the denominator. Now, this was a question that wasn't done very well. This is the main one that wasn't done very well. Considering we've done it quite recently, I was quite upset. No, I wasn't. But it's fine. We can go through it now. So some of you tried to multiply both of them by root 6. That wouldn't have worked because you'd have had to multiply the 3 on the bottom by root 6 and just have 3 root 6. When you get something like this, you have to make sure you create the difference of 2 squares on the bottom. So you would have had to multiply both sides by root 6 minus 3. Multiply both the top and bottom by root 6 minus 3. Then you create the difference of 2 squares. Once you do that, on the top you have 3 times root 6 minus 3, all over 6, the plus 3 root 6 and the minus 3 root 6 cancel out, and then you get minus 9. Now, if you gave me this, I did accept it, even though you can do something a little bit, you can kind of simplify that even further. So the 3's obviously cancel out, and you get root 6 minus 3 all over minus 1. And when you divide everything by minus 1, oh, that bird is loud. When you divide everything by minus 1, just the signs change, don't they? So you would have ended up with actually a positive 3 on the top and a negative root 6. And that would be your final answer there. 3 minus root 6. If you wanted to... Can you hear that? Can you hear that bird? That's crazy. Anyway, that would be your most simplified kind of answer there. Okay, last one. We've done so well. This was done really well. Loved this question. A few of you got 2. Maybe I didn't love this question so much. Some of you did something really silly. Y is 4, which means Y is always going to be 4. So the 2 points where they cross, Y is always going to be 4. Some of you decided to just willy-nilly change it to minus 4 in your answers. What a silly thing. Y was always going to be 4. Some of you put 4 and minus 4. That was silly. That's why you got 2 marks for that if you did. Anyway, so let's substitute that in. So we've got x squared plus y squared equals 25, and you had y equals 4. So you've got x squared, substitute y as 4 into that, so plus 4 squared equals 25. X squared plus 16 equals 25, and so you'll find that x squared equals 9. So x is equal to plus or minus 3. And we know that y is just equal to 4, so your solution should have been x1 equals 3, y1 equals 4. x2 equals minus 3, y1 equals 4. Okay, that should have been what you've done. Why did you decide to change it to minus